So, welcome to Friends by Film. I'm Daniel.
I'm Tyler.
Tyler. Yeah, we met Friends by Film, meaning that you meet friends while watching film, creating film, or being a part of a film community.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. I can't remember what year it was, but yeah, just kind of give a little backstory. Me and you met maybe turn of the
I
2010s,
I would say it was 2012 ish,
2012. Okay, yeah,
2011 ish. It was a lighting
yeah, Wichita,
class.
Kansas.
It was a lighting class. Yeah, City Arts in Wichita, Kansas. Um,
Yeah, our passion and our love for film, our desire to be a part of that process, culminated in us being in a class together. And yeah, ever since then, we've just maintained correspondence. And
yep.
so yeah,
But today we're talking about Mandalorian, which is in the
yes.
season 2. It's on Disney Plus, as everybody knows. So what are your thoughts on, I guess, the general where we're at in season 2? Not going in episode 5 yet. We're going to talk about the Jedi in a minute. How is it compared to season 1 for you, Tyler?
Okay, so I first and foremost want to say I'm really digging Mandalorian from the very beginning up until now. Honestly, I feel like this season in particular is definitely a lot more fast paced. We've already had our characters established, the world pretty much established, and right now, I think in terms of whether I like this season better than the first one, obviously we're halfway through. It's a little bit hard to tell, but I really think that the last two episodes, are the Jedi, and then
The
also
Siege?
this well, maybe not the siege, but the Harris. The introduction of the characters that I personally am not as familiar with, but people who've watched Clone Wars, Rebels, those are really strong episodes. The Harris introduction of Bo-Katan, the Jedi, and Carl Weathers' episode, The Siege, is pretty good. But yeah, I think it's a really strong season. I'm really digging it. What are your thoughts, man?
I love that they brought in Timothy Oliphant and the
Oh hell yeah,
gunslinger, or
good
the
cop,
or
man.
the what is it, the Marshal.
Marshall. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I loved that episode.
Dude, I've seen that episode three times. That's the only episode I've watched multiple times. I do plan on rewatching the Jedi just before the next episode premieres, just to make sure I'm just kind of catching on to some things. But yeah, no, I think Timothy Olyphant is an excellent actor, excellent choice. And welcome to Star Wars, Timothy. I mean, yeah, I honestly, man, he nailed it out of the park. He's got like a menace to him, but charisma. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know how to explain it. If you remember The Girl Next Door, remember that movie from 2006 or
Yes.
2005?
Yes.
Gosh, man, he played that porn producer really, like, man, he was bad.
He can
But
play. Yeah, he can play a villain, and he can also play the good guy. Um, he's kind of like the anti-hero, and
mhm,
he does westerns really well, which I feel like Mandalorian is definitely influenced by the western and the samurai
mhm.
films. So I think season 2 for me is a little stronger. Season 1, I'm not quite sure. It was fun, but I feel like the first couple episodes were just kind of side missions getting us into the character and the characters, and then it kind of they ended season 1 so strong with Moff Gideon and Taika Waititi's droid character. I forgot the name.
Oh, IG-11, man. Great.
IG-11.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just a great non-human sentient being.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say, what were your thoughts initially when they introduced the child?
So the child, and for those and we're going to kind of go into spoiler territory at this
Definitely.
point in time. So, the child, Grogu, formerly known as the child or Baby Yoda, in terms of the introduction, like
Yeah, like what was your first? Like, did you feel like, oh, this is going to be awesome, or how did you feel when you first saw that last shot of the first episode of season 1?
oh my gosh, dude, I was like, what? Seriously? like, okay, this is interesting. Like, I was not expecting that at all, man. Like, the people at Lucasfilm, all those people, like, I honestly, I had no idea. I was just expecting you have this, roguish, character, Mandalorian, you're going to, just a lot of balls to the wall action. But to introduce something like the character of the child, like an infant, I was like, oh, okay. Oh, wow. This is just adds like a different like feel to like what my expectations will be. Cause like, if I recall, the promotional material didn't include anything.
Not
like
at
that.
all.
So,
Not at all.
Dude, I was like, what? It's like, it's like, it was just like watching the movie Split, like for instance, I don't know if you've seen that film, but there's an instance at the very end where something is brought to light, a character is introduced, and you're like, oh my gosh.
It ties back into Unbreakable.
Down, dude.
It ties back into Unbreakable.
Yes. Yeah.
And then they made the third one.
Glass, exactly.
Yeah, Glass.
But man, I was just like, my gosh, like I was pleasantly surprised.
I felt the same. I mean, coming off, like, I think it was, like, I saw the disappointment of Last Jedi for me, and it just I was kind of having Star Wars fatigue. And so when I was watching Mandalorian, I was like, oh, this is just okay. And then I saw the end, I was like, okay, this has potential. I'll keep watching.
Absolutely. Because it just throws like this like green, cuddly, fragile wrench into the mix of this world. This that you have a character like the Mandalorian who is introduced as this, very kind of cold, like kind of menacing figure who's just there to hunt and just to bring in bounties. And so when you throw in that, fragile, green, cute wrench, you're just like, oh my God, like, what are we in for? And so, yeah, no, I was super excited. It definitely, I like the word you used as fatigue, coming off of, The Last Jedi. And at that point in time, we were just waiting a month up until the Rise of Skywalker. And we can get into that at another point, but yeah, no, I was thoroughly pleased, pleasantly surprised, and I'm glad to hear that it revitalized that. It revitalized you out of that fatigue.
Yeah, what I also like about the show is it's very like small scale.
Yep.
It's very little details matter. The whole the phrase of less is more is really Mandalorian. What it's all about.
And just right out the gate, man, like, just like, I honestly think the score for The Mandalorian, the theme, is so iconic, man. It's just like, years from now, I mean, I even hum it to this day. Like, I get so excited when I hear the score, the all that stuff.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, exactly. Dun, dun.
I was trying to find
that's
that
like
for
the closest thing to Law and Order. That's like our modern.
Yeah, I could see that. I was trying to find the that tone for my text tone.
I
haven't found it. No.
Okay, I'm sure they're gonna have it somewhere down the road.
Yeah. Do you know who does the score? I think it's the same guy that did the score of Creed.
Yeah, Ludwig. I'm not gonna pronounce his name.
Yeah, his first name's Ludwig, though.
Yeah, his name is Ludwig. He also did the score for Tenet.
Tenet, yep.
So this is the first collaboration between Hans Zimmer and him. And he also did the score for Black Panther, which I haven't seen in its entirety. I know some of you guys are like, how could you not see that? But I'll see it at some time, I promise. But no, yeah, I know.
I got no words.
Yeah. I mean, there's only a very few Marvel films I haven't seen, but yeah, I was trying to watch Black Panther late at night. I fell asleep, and I got to give it a shot. Can't watch a movie when you're tired.
Definitely give it a shot.
Yes.
So
yeah,
should we
characters like
Should we jump into the episode, or do you think we should talk more about the?
No, yeah, let's just jump right in.
I also love how they brought in Carl Weathers for this show. Oh,
great, man. And something my brother mentioned to me, if you look back at his episode that he recently directed, The Siege, when they reunite, okay, well, so we're getting into spoiler territories at this point in time. But when they reunite back on the planet Navarro, and prior to him going on this kind of like little mission, they kind of do this handshake thing, and the way the camera focuses on them doing that, I was like, oh my gosh, total like homage to Predator. Like that was great, man. So it's
The
cool
whole
to see
thing
Carl
is,
Weathers.
the whole episode of The Siege is really 80s driven action,
Oh yeah,
which is
absolutely,
great.
man. It's a fun episode. I enjoyed it, and I can't remember the character's name, but gosh, SNL alum, what's his name? Horatio Sands plays that. I
That
can't
blue
remember
guy.
her species. Yeah, with yeah.
You know what I
Um,
love? I love that when he like got nervous and he just let out his
yes.
sweat or his, I
Yeah,
guess his
exactly.
water. His water broke, I guess. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah. For lack of better terms,
Yeah.
the mithril. I think it's a mithril. I think that's his name, or he's like the mithril species. But yeah, no, it's great, man. Yeah, Carl Weathers is great. We haven't seen a lot of Gina Carino's character. I can't remember her name. Cara
That was the
Dune.
only episode those characters were in, The Siege, I believe,
Yeah,
of season 2.
and I have a feeling, that that's probably like not the last time we'll ever see them, but I think for the rest of the season, I think that's their part of this season right now.
Okay, getting into predictions.
Yeah, man.
All
What were your
right,
thoughts
so
on this last episode, man? The introduction of fan favorite Ahsoka Tano, and
yeah,
what were
let's
your
get
thoughts?
into it. The Jedi. I think this is episode 13, right?
Episode 13, and this will be episode 5 of this
Of
current
season
season
2.
2. Yeah.
So the Jedi. We start on Corvus, which I thought it was going to be some. This looked like some kind of weird Kylo Ren type world at first with the fog.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. Kind of was like reminiscent of if I'm not mistaken, that particular planet is a Mustafar. It's like a kind of like burnt trees or something. It just was a very desolate woodland area that was honestly looked ransacked.
yeah, but they didn't make us wait long. We saw
Mm.
Ahsoka Tano kicking butt right away.
Yeah, Rosario Dawson. I mean, her Ahsoka Tano's live action debut and Rosario Dawson's introduction to the Star Wars universe that I'm aware of.
Were
Yeah.
you familiar with Ahsoka before?
No, so I had saw like a handful of Clone Wars episodes. Honestly, after watching this particular episode and just becoming more familiar with her, I'm going to probably go and check out some more of the Clone Wars. Right now, I'm currently on Rebels, but yeah, no, I really didn't have much other than I knew that she was I believe, the Padawan apprentice to Anakin Skywalker during the time of the Clone Wars, and then I did know some aspects of her story post Clone Wars, but yeah, other than that, no, I had no idea. But I was very curious.
Yeah.
Especially when her character was name dropped early on. So, how about you, man? What have you?
I did watch the Clone Wars movie, the
Okay.
animated movie that came out, and I think it was right after Revenge of the Sith, like back in 06, 07 or something. And then they had the show. I tried the show. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, for me, the animation, I guess it's like I don't know. It was hard to kind of overcome.
I think it's an acquired taste.
It's an acquired taste. I agree. But at the end of the day, the storytelling, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. I mean, I thought Rosario Dawson was badass. To be honest, I thought that opening sequence where she's taking down those for lack of better terms, those guards of the magistrate. I thought that was great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think she really brought the character to life, not only with appearance, but I think with just the calm, the focus. She's
definitely.
she's so chill,
Mm-hmm.
and she's positive, and she's like, okay, well, I want this from you, and
Yeah. Yeah, there's no sweat to it at all. This is probably like in terms of like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most difficult obstacle she's ever faced to 1 being the least difficult. It felt like this was probably like a 2 or something, not even a 2. Maybe.
I mean, no, because you consider what she's been through with the Anakin stuff. I mean, this is nothing.
Oh yeah.
So then I think she makes an agreement with the guards, which I love that they brought in Michael Biehn, another 80s actor
Yeah,
from Aliens, to play Lang in this episode.
absolutely.
Um, and then the
Yeah, if I'm not
Mandalorian.
mistaken, there's a brief conversation and agreement between her and I think her name is the magistrate. I'm not sure
Yeah,
what her full name is, but there's an
it's like
agreement like I'm going to
Morgan.
give you one more day to give up your control of this township or something.
Yeah, well, so that magistrate, she's like she's holding like hostages or the whole
Yes.
village hostage and executing him or something terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously, later in the episode, she pretty much, commands that, the prisoners get killed. So yeah, she's ruthless,
Yeah. And then Mando and the child land because they're in search of a Jedi. Mando's in search for a Jedi to bring the child to and drop off
Absolutely.
to train or be safe. So he enters the. I love that the entrance, just a little detail of it like slowly closing the gate or whatever. I don't know. I just appreciated that of the episode too. Just little details that they put in.
Yeah, it just gives more life to the world, like when you really pay a lot of attention to those kinds of things, when you invest time, and there, just the composition, it's wonderful stuff. Man.
So Mando's walking through and nobody wants to talk to him. Everybody's scared of him, or they won't say a word to him. They're afraid that they're going to get executed.
Yeah, so I think as an audience member, you're just kind of like, okay, this is interesting. Is it because he's Mandalorian? Is it because it just raises like that level of like, like you kind of lean in more, and it just kind of I just think like that's what I love about at least this show, at least that particular moment is like you're leaning in, you're just wanting to know more, like what is happening. So,
and then he finally meets the magistrate leader. I think her name's Morgan Elsbeth or something like that.
Okay. Her that's her character's name, or that's the actress?
Character's name, yeah. The actress' name is like Diana Lee, and I'm gonna mess up the pronunciation, but
yeah. No, man. Yeah, and at that point in time, he basically, she kind of poses, this proposition saying that, hey, listen, I have some business for you.
Another bounty.
A bounty, exactly.
Pretty much.
And she basically says, if you could take out this Jedi, which we as an audience member, know that okay, he's looking for a Jedi, so I like the fact that he didn't really kind of go obviously into his motives. He's smart enough not to do that, but she basically teases him with Beskar, this staff of Beskar.
Is that new to the universe?
From what I'm aware of, and again, I haven't obviously seen all of the Clone Wars or all of Rebels, but I mean, to me, it's new. It was a new component of the storytelling, because like you find out that Beskar, at least pure Beskar, can actually not be easily destroyed by a lightsaber, which I think of a lightsaber as like an incredible weapon that can just cut through most things,
which is what the Mandalorians wear.
Yeah.
And they used to fight the Jedi, from what I understand.
Yes.
Which is, it's crazy. There's so much to unpack in this episode.
Yeah.
So then he goes out and he's going to hunt this Jedi, or he wants to find the Jedi. Because,
so he agrees with the magistrate, I will find this Jedi for you.
And I think, he's looking around, right? And he's seeing those creatures and stuff. And then she pops out. They go at it. I love that they go at it for like a second.
Yeah.
And then he's like...
Because at this point in time, Ahsoka has no idea who, Mandalorian, the Mandalorian or Din Djarin is. Yeah.
Yeah. And he stops.
But I'm kind of surprised that she didn't maybe sense Grogu's presence initially. I'm kind of a little bit surprised. Now that we're thinking about it, that could be... something that I guess we need to just kind of forget about that. But now that I'm thinking about it, if she's this powerful Jedi, I figured she might have sensed something. But maybe she also thought that Mandalorian was like, capturing him. So yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that she even doesn't deny that she's a Jedi. Like, because I've heard that she actually leaves the Jedi at one point.
You're right.
So
you're right.
It's interesting that she actually is okay with that label of Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So they stop fighting. Mando's like, "Hey, I actually need you," and she's like, "Hopefully, it's about him." And they cut to the child at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did something really brave to me. I feel like they don't do this often in TV. They have like a moment of silence. And you have just Ahsoka and the child are talking to each other like through the Force.
Yeah.
Like you don't
Which
usually
is great,
get
man.
that. Yeah, I know. You don't usually get that though in a TV show. So I thought that was a nice choice by Filoni.
Yeah, because even at that point in time, I just thought to myself, okay, like they're communicating to each other. Like I don't need exposition to, explain it for me that, oh, this is how we communicate. I mean, there kind of was a little bit like that after the fact, but initially, yeah, you just see them, this quiet, still moment. They're just looking at each other. Yeah.
It's almost like preparing us for like the huge information drop about to happen.
Yeah, which we kind of do get a little bit of that exposition. But I think it's really great exposition, and it's the type of exposition that just makes all of us as a part of the Star Wars fan community be like, speculate, oh my gosh. So, for instance, name drop, Grogu. What are your thoughts on the name?
I thought Dragon Ball Z. Got Goku, but I'm like, you know what? It's grown on me. And I didn't see it coming. I did not see this coming at all in this episode, at least. Or I didn't even think about having the child having a name. I just thought it was the child or Baby Yoda.
Yeah, no, I felt the same way. I mean, I hadn't watched the episode soon enough, so I heard there was talk about the name was revealed. And I thought to myself, it's got to be 2 syllables. You got Yoda, you got Yaddle, which some people are having issues with Yaddle not being name dropped in that particular sequence. But
I don't think they actually met. I don't think that Yaddle ever met Ahsoka.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Yaddle was a part of the Jedi Council. I mean, I don't know, who knows? I mean, but we get into that exposition piece where we find out from Ahsoka that through communicating, she's able to identify that Grogu was actually a young, I don't know if we can say Padawan, but at least on Coruscant during the time of, I mean, is it about Order 66, right?
So, yeah, but Yaddle was
Maybe it's not clear.
Yaddle was in Phantom Menace.
Yes.
And then from what I understand, she somehow leaves and dies.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. No, I'm talking about the exposition piece of Grogu being at least on Coruscant. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess Anakin definitely met Grogu then, or in passing, whatever, or when he was trying to kill the younglings.
I just think I think that piece of exposition is just further fuels our speculation and our excitement to figure out, okay, well, what? Oh my gosh, I want to know who potentially, saved Grogu during that whole Order 66, event. So, you have any thoughts? I mean,
it could be Mace Windu.
Dude, I want it to be Mace Windu, man. I want it to be Mace Windu. I mean, whether you like Sam Jackson or not, and how can you not like Sam Jackson? But,
that's like the long shot prediction is Mace Windu.
Sure,
but I think realistically thinking about it, I thought Yoda, because I mean he did the same thing with the twins, separate, hidden. So I'm assuming Yoda, especially if it's his kid, which I don't know.
Gosh,
it's not confirmed or who knows. But, it also could be, I don't know, it could.
There's so many possibilities, but I hope Sam Jackson. I would love to see Sam Jackson come back.
they would really have to, like, I don't know. He doesn't have any hands, right?
Well, I think he lost one. No, did he lose both hands? Gosh, it's been a while.
I think he lost them both because I remember him like being shocked and having no hands.
I think he just got his hand that was wielding a lightsaber cut off, because everybody tends to get their hands cut off in Star Wars, but both hands I'm not so certain. But yeah, I mean, no hands or one hand or whatnot, it'd still be cool.
But
I'm
we've
totally
already
cool with
seen
it.
in Empire that you can get a hand back. You know, you
That
can
is
get
true.
hands back in Star Wars.
Absolutely, man. So that would be an easy fix. And but yeah, and so you get that exposition piece, and then you have Ahsoka, attempting to connect with with Grogu through the Force, and to at least see if he's teachable. And we find out that he's got some trauma,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's if I'm not mistaken, and again, I'd have to see the episode again, but help me out here. Supposedly, there's a concern of like
Darkness.
of darkness,
See, I think my thought is that he was experimented on, right before Mando got him. Like,
absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, I think the siege does basically indicate that he did have some blood, or or at least whatever they would call it, with midichlorians taken from him. So
I think that could be the darkness, and he's like suppressed his powers to the Force, but he does have a connection with Mando.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man.
Because every time Mando says Grogu, he has that little snap. Like, hey, yeah.
Yeah, so cute, man. I mean, I don't know about you, but as a viewer, I was like, ooh, yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I got some tears in my eyes when I heard the Yoda theme.
Dude, you get my fiance, man. I was watching that episode and I just welled up, man. And immediately, dude. Just, gosh, John Williams, I love you. If you're ever watching this or listening to this, your music has got me through a lot of situations. Gosh, just hearing that theme for that brief moment, and just, yeah, I was like, wow.
Did you go right back to Dagobah when he's pulling the TIE fighter or the X-Wing out?
Yeah, I mean, when I think about it, like, maybe I wasn't consciously thinking that, but I was just overwhelmed with just like the majesty of Yoda. Yeah. And all his wisdom and just all who he is. So
now, what's the obsession with Grogu and the little silver ball?
That's a good question. I don't know if it's like anything incredibly meaningful, other than it's just, like a kid just gravitates towards like a security blanket,
a favorite toy,
nice and shiny. But I thought that was so, like, when I was watching the episode, you start the episode off in the ship, and Din Djarin is like, hey, please, you need to don't mess with that. All right, I'm telling you, don't mess with that. Yeah, I just thought it was just just a nice little touch. I thought to myself, okay, this is what's gonna get him to use the Force. So yeah, no, I liked it. Yeah. And then his apprehension is like, what do you mean I need to teach this kid? Like, what? No, we can't do this. Like,
I'm not a Jedi.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you think it's possible that he could learn how to use the Force, or is it?
It's a good question, man. I think I don't know if he'll be like I don't know.
I don't think he should. I don't think it really.
I don't think he will. We haven't really seen anything up until this point that would indicate to us, at least that I'm aware of, that would indicate that he's Force sensitive or has this kind of, predisposition to things of the Force. I don't think we've ever seen anything on camera so far that would indicate that. So
yeah, Mando is like the father figure for Grogu.
Absolutely, he's definitely the surrogate father figure. So
then they decide, hey, Mando's like, I'm supposed to kill you, and but I'm not going to. And he says that right away to Ahsoka. Awesome. Yeah. And then so they're like, hey, we both want something, so let's team up. They'll never see it coming, which, badass. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they won't see it coming because a Jedi and a Mandalorian, I mean, historically, again, the feud, I mean, yeah, they're not going to see it coming. So Perfect,
Oh,
man.
I mean, what a great action sequence.
Oh yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah. I just never thought I'd ever see a day where I'd watch a television show, live action especially, where we'd see like I would say a really good, duel. I mean, it wasn't lightsaber upon lightsaber, but it was close. And I think we'll get there eventually.
yeah, I think we're building to that,
Yeah.
which we'll get to our predictions in a little bit.
Yes.
Um, yeah, that fight was cool, and it was also the first female versus female in
Oh,
in live action.
yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think you're right, man. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
yeah, and I loved how it was like old school samurai. Had that feel to it.
It definitely did. Yeah, I was definitely getting some Kill Bill vibes, and I know Kill Bill is
Mhm.
heavily inspired by
Oh yeah.
older films, but especially where Ahsoka and the Magistrate Morgan Elsbeth, maybe I think that's what you named her,
Yeah.
or just kind of like standing there having that conversation and then just prepping. I mean, yeah, just the build up, and then also the conversation outside the compound area where you
Oh
hear
yeah. I
where
know.
Michael Bihn's character, what's his name again?
Lang.
Lang,
Lang.
yeah, dang, yeah. Lang is like, oh, I think we lost. Like, I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's like the old western, and then the old samurai fight. The Ahsoka versus the Magistrate is like the samurai, and the Mando versus Lang is the western. And then
Yeah,
a shootout. Um, it was funny. It was funny too. What Lang was saying, like, "Hey, we're not all that similar," and looks like, it looks like you won.
yeah, yeah. It looks like you won, and
I
then
come in peace, puts his gun down, and he's got the
I
person.
knew he was gonna pull some crap like that, man.
Oh yeah,
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 yeah. I was like, sorry, Michael. I mean,
yeah.
you were short lived in the Terminator series, and you're gonna be short lived in the Mandalorian series. Like, I was like, man. But it was good to see Michael. It was definitely good to
Yeah,
see him
definitely.
again. Damn, and I'm just thinking, man, he's got older. We're getting older, man. So,
I know. At first, I thought it was like Dennis Hopper's brother or something. But
okay.
I was. He kind of had that Dennis Hopper and Speed vibe, like, you know,
Yeah.
Pop Quiz
That would have been
hot
something,
shot
man.
or whatever.
Can you imagine Dennis Hopper if he were, alive today, being a part of that Star Wars universe?
Oh yeah, it'd be crazy. It would be
That would
almost
be,
like
man.
Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, yeah, King Koopa, man, with that kind of potato ridge head. Yeah. But yeah, so we assume, and we don't necessarily know the fate of the magistrate, but do you think that the magistrate was disarmed, killed? Because we really don't know that.
Yeah, they don't show it. I would say she's locked away somehow, or put in a chamber like the people that live there.
See, when I watched it, I thought maybe she got killed, but we'll find out.
I don't think
maybe
Ahsoka wouldn't kill.
Okay. See, and I don't know the character that much, so.
Well, assuming that she's still sort of Jedi. Jedis don't usually, murder for no reason
Sure.
or absolutes.
Yes.
But she did provide information for Ahsoka about another animated character, Tarkin, or
No, yeah.
not. Fuck.
You're good, man. Thrawn, man.
Thrawn. That's right.
Big bad daddy, Grand Admiral Thrawn, man. Which is another character that I have been aware of, but I don't know intimately. I just recently started reading Timothy Zahn's new trilogy of books, and I'm excited.
The
But
new
I know
one.
that he was.
So how many are there so far?
So right now, I think there's 4. So there's already a trilogy that's complete, and then there's a new trilogy that Timothy Zahn is working on right now, and I think they're going to be publishing the second part of this new trilogy next year, maybe. I don't know what the names of the trilogies are called, but yeah, I mean, he's a guy that originally came up with Thrawn, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
He at least brought Thrawn to through the Star Wars consciousness back in
Yeah,
the
and the
early.
Legends, Thrawn actually becomes like the new emperor of sorts.
Do
He's
you think we'll get something like that, man, going forward? At least this character iteration trying to fill in a void left by the Emperor.
I think Thrawn is going to be a part of Ahsoka's series,
Mm-hmm.
unless he's ahead in charge of Moff.
Yeah.
But we don't know much about Moff. I feel like that would kind of take away from what he's doing, unless he's
Do
doing
you
it
kind of
for
think that?
Thrawn.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking to myself, if we're gonna get maybe like an episode that is somewhat dedicated to like kind of like a hey, meanwhile, let's kind of look into the story of Moff Gideon. Do you think we'll get something like that going forward in either this season? I feel like it'd either be this season or maybe early next season.
Well,
But do you
yeah,
think we'll get that?
I wouldn't mind next episode even being all Moff in a way.
Yeah, where it just kind of just basically takes a just a detour for us as an audience just to get to know Moff more before. Honestly, I have a feeling this season's going to end on a cliffhanger, man. I feel like
Oh yeah, I do too.
I feel like Filoni, Lucasfilms, Favreau are leading us up to this big giant. I think we're going to end up on Tython. I mean, is it okay? We can go in our predictions.
Well, I was just going to say that we see Mando struggling to let go of Grogu at the end of this episode. He kind of is like, okay, now it's time to say goodbye. He's really sad.
Sure.
It doesn't happen.
If we go back a little bit more, so the new task that we're aware of for Mando is to take him to this planet, right? Because Ahsoka has decided that, hey, listen, there's nothing I can do, but there's maybe another opportunity for
the Jedi Temple on Tython.
Tython, yes, Tython, which I'm not familiar with. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's been introduced in canon in the comics. So
it's one of the temples that Luke was, getting relics from. Which I find interesting because, well, they say to put Grogu on the little thing and see who senses him to train him, or whatever path that Grogu chooses, actually. So he may not choose to go and follow that path of being a Jedi or the Force.
Yeah.
He may just want a cookie or something.
Yeah, he might just sit there, man. Which I think is fascinating. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what happens, obviously. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? You think they'll actually reach Tython?
This season?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Awesome, man.
And it may not be with who we think. It may be like Moff taking him there.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do know now that at least established in I think the episode prior to this that there was a tracking beacon placed on the Razor Crest Mandalorian ship.
Right.
So yeah, so kind of going forward, I think we also will see Tython. I think Grogu and Din Djarin will go ahead and be able to reach the temple. Whether they go to the temple and there's nothing there, or they're met by an opposing force or a surprising character. I mean, there's so much speculation, man.
Yeah. So who are the possibilities? If Grogu does choose to go the way of the Force, I mean, Mace Windu, Luke Skywalker,
Mace Windu, yeah,
Ezra from another animated character.
Yeah, I mean, because you throw down Grand Admiral Thrawn, you got to throw in Ezra as well. So
is it possible Thrawn has learned some dark Force stuff, or does he stay kind of just the organizer?
So, and again, I don't know so much about Thrawn up until this point, but I'm assuming he probably is very much aware of, obviously, working for Palpatine. I'm sure he if I'm understanding Thrawn correctly, he is a very calculative, cold, ruthless warrior. I have a feeling like he would know a lot more than most people would. He would have ways of knowing. So I think he, honestly, man. So my thoughts are, and again, this is just my theories. I think Moff Gideon is a pawn of Thrawn. I think that Moff Gideon also wants to have, a sense of, power, but power corrupts power. And so I have a feeling that, that he's maybe kind of, if not working with Thrawn, in cahoots with him somehow. Yeah, man, I honestly think Thrawn is trying to, I think they're going to try and rebring that whole aspect of the legends into this canon and have him try to be like the next emperor. Now, we know that they're doing experiments, right? They're trying to do like these kinds of transfusions to see if you can become force sensitive, or whether Thrawn is a part of that or not. I think he might be. I know Moff Gideon is probably trying to do the same thing for himself, but yeah, I mean, I think so. What are your thoughts, man?
I don't know if Moff even has the power of the Force, because he just kind of used it to get out of the ship, the Blacksaber, like Han Solo used it to save Luke.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We do know that what's that chick's name in the Blue Mando that we saw, her short red hair? Bo-Katan. She's also looking for the dark saber. So I expect her to show up again before the finale.
Yes.
Whether it be rescuing Mando and Grogu or whatnot. We also could see Ahsoka again. She has a change of heart, or she's looking for Thrawn, so they could cross that way too. That's the beauty of this episode. There's so many different ways that we could go.
It could, yeah. I could go to so many different ways, man. I mean, not only are you name dropping a big name like Grand Admiral Thrawn, but you're also introducing a Jedi. Or at least we're assuming a Jedi is going to hopefully show up. That's another possibility. No one might show up.
Another character they could bring out of the Legends lore is Mara Jade.
Yeah, man, they could bring in a character named Mara Jade. Yeah, no, honestly, they could. Yeah,
that would break the internet.
I think that would break the internet, man. If not Mace Windu or Ezra Bridger, but yeah, no, definitely.
Even a young Luke, even.
Yes, which at this point in time, are you good with a deep fake digitized, facial reconstructed Luke, or maybe a cast?
I think Sebastian Stan or the Winter Soldier, somebody like that. Just a small cameo,
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, we understand that Luke's wanting to, bring a new Jedi Order. So, I mean, that makes sense.
And he's one of the strongest Jedis out there.
Oh, absolutely.
He would sense this, you would think.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think, for sure. I also thought Luke Skywalker wouldn't abandon the Jedi ways, but, Last Jedi proved that wrong. So, who knows? That's another story.
Yeah, this is before that. He's a little happier, I think.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. I think episode 6, this next episode, as much as that would be cool to kind of like veer off and do a Moff Gideon backstory, I have a feeling that episode 6 will be the journey to Tython. I'm sure there'll be some sort of obstacle that poses itself through that. But I have a feeling we'll kind of leave on a cliffhanger. Episode 6, we're at that Jedi temple. Grogu, the child, the bounty is there. We don't necessarily see anything. We just kind of close the episode. Maybe we do hear some rustling in the background, and there's the appearance of someone, but we don't know who it is. Episode 7, we get maybe some more exposition, but then I have a feeling that Moff Gideon's gonna somehow be there. I think with the the beacon and stuff, and episode 8, I think it's just going to be this climactic thing. You know, we're going
I
to see
think
the dark saber again.
Yeah, I think 7 and 8 are going to be essentially 2 parts of like a battle or some kind of sort of leading to a heavy traumatic ending or cliffhanger ending.
Yeah.
6 is going to be sort of back to the side mission. You know, I think it was you that told me that it was possibly 32 minutes.
Yeah, so there's a report out there that this is going to be one of the shortest episodes in the series. It's going to be roughly 32 minutes. So,
and I think Robert Rodriguez is directing it.
Yes, and I was listening to another podcast. Someone was like, "What are the chances that we'll have a cameo from Danny Trejo, aka Machete?"
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Bill Burr last season.
What's that?
They had Bill Burr last season, so I mean,
yeah, and I thought Bill Burr was great in that particular role. That episode, the prison break episode, I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I think we could get another side quest like that, and
absolutely,
coming, you know.
But I agree with you. I really think that episodes 7 and 8 will be like almost like the Avengers Infinity War. Maybe not like Avengers Infinity War, but Endgame. But they'll be a 2-part episode. They'll probably
that's
really
what I'm thinking.
Episodes.
They're going to connect heavily.
And I have a feeling that the last episode of the season is going to end on a cliffhanger and a dire no. I have a feeling it's going to do that.
I would say Grogu is going to be kidnapped,
apprehended,
or something. Yeah, every time Mando leaves him, I'm like, oh, this is going to be it. You know, he's at the school when he left him there during the siege. I was like, this Gideon's going to be there.
Well, my thoughts are, man, is like this whole series, The Mandalorian is it's hinged on that relationship. I mean, right from the establishing episode, like you said, we're I think our expectations were, pleasantly, just, we were just surprised. And I think that, I mean, what's the Mandalorian going to be without Grogu at this point in time?
Yeah.
Where does that story go? So I think, honestly, that would continue to extend the Mandalorian as a series by, we need to reconcile the relationship. So Grogu being kidnapped or apprehended,
he failed to get Grogu where he needs to go too, maybe.
Exactly. So we might not even end up on Tython.
Yeah.
There's just so much we won't know until the next 3 weeks. But I'm excited, man.
I am too.
Yeah.
I think, did we cover a lot of it? I think we covered a lot.
I think we covered a lot of it. Do you think we're gonna have any big character deaths by the end of this season?
Like the guy, this was the character last season.
Quill.
Oh yeah, we had a couple guys die last season.
IG-11, man, went down like a baller. Man.
And I Have Spoken, Nick Nolte.
Yeah, Quill.
Quill, yeah.
Yes.
I'm bad with names.
No, you're cool, man. You're cool. I just I Have Spoken. Like, he was a character from last season that I really enjoyed, and when he bit the dust,
me too.
Nobly, I was sad. I was like,
me too, yeah. And Nick Nolte was perfect for that role.
Oh, absolutely.
For the voice,
The casting is great, man. Like, I haven't had any problems with any of the castings, honestly.
Oh, real quick, did you see that George Lucas was the picture of him and Grogu that was on internet a long time ago, like early this year, or whenever he's holding the baby?
I vaguely kind of recall that. What's up with that?
I guess that was the day that they shot the Ahsoka stuff. So he was on set for this episode for the Jedi.
That's so cool, man.
Do you think that he's going to actually direct?
Gave his baby up to Disney. I'm so glad that they're still keeping him around, man.
I think it's possible that he could direct an episode.
Oh, I would love that, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, totally love that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, say what you want about the prequels. That could be for another time. But just to have just the father of Star Wars, man. Yeah, that would be great.
It would be.
Who are some other directors you'd like to see direct a Star Wars movie or show?
Tarantino.
Okay.
That's not going to happen, but
He's probably more of a Trekkie, but
yeah, he is.
I'd be down for that.
It'd be great. Not sure. How about you?
I mean, at this point in time, I think it's been a good wide range of directors. You know,
Maybe Mark Hamill.
I think Bryce Dallas
would
Howard.
Mark Hamill do it?
I can see Mark Hamill doing it. I'd love to see him.
Or Frank Oz.
Frank cool. Oz, yeah. Do you think we'll get some Force Ghost action here, man?
This season, or just in?
Well, yeah, this season. I heard that there was some speculation that they might introduce like if a Jedi in person doesn't show up at the temple, that there might be like a Force Ghost. I know that I think the only other confirmed Star Wars show right now is the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. So I don't know. That'd be kind of cool to see Force Ghost Ewan McGregor. That would also break the internet, I think. I don't know if I really want that.
Yeah.
I'd rather see a live, living, breathing Jedi.
Yeah, because this is after. It would make more sense that Luke would show up than having Obi-Wan as a Force Ghost.
Yeah.
We could see like a Force Ghost of Ezra, because maybe Thrawn, turned his back on him.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think that's what Ahsoka's looking for, is Ezra.
Possibly, man. Yeah.
So we could see that. But then again, I think that's Ahsoka's journey, though. It's going to be interesting how they do the Thrawn stuff.
You know, supposedly I didn't read the article, but I think Dave Filoni might have, and again I'm just paraphrasing, but he might have been quoted as saying that, you know, who knows? Does the Mandalorian take place I'm not well versed into Rebels, and I kind of had the ending of Rebels spoiled for me just very briefly. But if I'm not mistaken, there's a scene where Ahsoka Tano is kind of like adorned in like this white, just elegant robe and a staff, and I think she, at this point in time, has left the Jedi way of life. And I think Dave Filoni said something to the extent of like, well, does the Mandalorian take place before or after that? Is that like, what's the context of that scene? Is that
true?
Like, so I thought that was fascinating.
True.
I have yet to see it for myself. But...
True. Yeah. I did see that article too, or that comment.
Mm-hmm.
I also saw Rian Johnson considering Hayden Christensen as the Force Ghost in Last Jedi instead of Yoda.
Yeah, I saw that, man. I didn't read that. I do want to check that back out. I don't know if that would have made The Last Jedi any better or any worse.
He said that the reason he didn't do that is because
he didn't want to divide the fan community or something?
Luke had more of a connection with Vader than Anakin. And I thought, what are you talking about? The end of Jedi, father son are together, like. Yeah,
you see like this, I don't know, that the way Hayden Christensen is filmed, or at least inserted into that sequence, he's kind of like.
You know what?
It's kind of weird. He's got like a weird thing going on there. I was like,
do yourself a favor and buy the unaltered versions on eBay on Blu-ray.
Okay.
There's I don't know. To me, they're so much better.
Oh man, dude! I recently started getting into like collecting like kind of like older formats of physical media. So I might have to like either go dig into my parents' like crate of old VHSs, or maybe just put $20 down on an old set of like Star Wars movies.
Did you have the old VHS 3-pack?
Yeah, we had the one where we had the one that obviously with the special editions, we had like the that one, but then we also had the ones from I think the early 90s where you have like
97.
Yeah, so well, I don't know if it was 97. We did have those ones, but we had the ones that were prior to that where it's like there's like Yoda for Return of the Jedi.
Yes, that's the 3 set I'm talking about. Yeah,
that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I might have to dig those up, or I'm sure there's a bootleg copy or something.
I saw it at is it Discount Books or something? Or, no,
Okay.
what's that one place in Wichita?
Bookaholics?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
the other one.
Discount Books.
It's on Kellogg and Rock by the
Calodan Rock.
where the old Toys R Us was.
Oh, okay. I can't recall, but yeah.
It's something like it's like a discount.
Yeah,
half price books. Half price
Yeah,
books.
it's like a mom and pop. It's no like big chain thing. So
Half price books.
half price books. There you go.
But no, I have the unaltered ones. Somebody went through and made them like high def on Blu-ray and they're bootlegs and they're on eBay and they're well worth it. They look great.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, now that Disney owns the Fox catalog, if we'll get like a legendary Star Wars trilogy where it's just like, hey, prior to 2012, or I don't know, but I think George Lucas really requested that this is definitive Star Wars.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he has said that this is now his vision. So, I mean, yeah, I respect that. I grew up with a different. I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. But no, so, back to The Mandalorian. I've been pleasantly surprised. I'm really loving this show. I think they're doing great things. It's honestly reinvigorated my joy of being a Star Wars fan.
Me too.
I think we were talking about that earlier.
Me too, man.
Last Jedi definitely put a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, Rise of Skywalker was meh. It was like Rise of Skywalker for me was like expecting like on a hot summer day, expecting like a water bottle that's nicely cold, but it was just lukewarm. It was yeah.
The problem was that they didn't plan it out. They didn't have a plan for the whole trilogy.
Yeah.
So
at least George Lucas had a plan for the prequels. It led to something. So
yeah, he had a plan for 7, 8, 9. He handed over. So
I know.
They chose not to go in that direction.
Yeah. Very true, man.
But we got Mandalorian. Like I said, we're back. We're back into Star Wars, and I can't wait for Friday's episode. What did everybody think out there? Let us know. Give us a comment. Give us a shout out. Thanks for watching, Friends by Film.
Take care, guys. We'll definitely record our reactions to the upcoming episode, probably sometime later this weekend. Thanks for giving us an opportunity. If you have any feedback, let us know. And we'll see you guys later.
Yeah. Peace.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.